How are you? Sunrise video series. We've got a slew of some of the most hilarious observations, advice, dare I say, and predictions. Welcome to day number 18. Welcome to day number 18. Hold on to your butts because it's hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Do these jokes write themselves? Absolutely they do. Because we are going into obviously what they don't teach you in school, but would be hilarious if they did teach you this in school. Networking at South by. I met a person who was trying to convert a networking business contact into a sugar daddy arrangement. Not exaggerating. Let's get into the 11 chapters of the book that she needs to read, a book that AI just wrote, because today's day 18, 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Chapter 1. Remember, this is AI, Asian intelligence, writing this. Catch 22. Remember, she's a 32-year-old trying to set up a sugar daddy arrangement. There's a catch 22 that she doesn't know about. Because historically, you're screwed if you have to fly 22 flights. That's where the saying comes from. Chapter 1 solves the I'm damned if I do stay on this old business model. I'm also damned if I don't stay on this business model. Because chapter 2 is dating like your VC. Dating like VC is your job. That's chapter 2. What do VCs do? VCs pretend to be super popular while not having enough deal flow and having funds that are underwater. That's what they don't teach you at Y Combinator, which is what VCs do is also what sugar baby potentials are doing, which is a horrible form of fake it till you make it as a 32-year-old. Because what happened initially to get you in the sugar game? Initially, you backed into it. Pun intended. By being a 23-year-old who then defaulted into a sugar arrangement. Is your business model still the same as when you were 23 as a 32-year-old? Yeah, your ass model hasn't changed. Is that a problem? Oh yeah. What happens when your business model won't change with our overall market value? What happens? Good morning. Good morning. You can try to bring in that type of sugar, but guess what? Guess what? We're going to roll right into it because I do better at stand-up comedy when the trolls roll in. So troll up harder. In fact, message 5 of your troll friends, and then you can literally tell the most layup jokes with Brokeback. Because Ong Lee, okay, went to his Oscar party. He's the one who directed Brokeback. He had some genius things to say, which we will cover, which we will actually cover. Not a teaser, a prompter. Because when we're prompting, we are absolutely winning. That's also what they don't teach you at YC. Oh, wait, they do teach you that at YC. Day number 106, 23 Days of OpenAI, is the Startup AI School at YC in Mountain View. My God, this video is like rolling nicely. What happens when you have a faulty business model? Because remember, I met her at a work networking function. She was trying to convert a traditional work function into, oh my gosh, you seem rich. How about we enter a sugar arrangement? But she didn't pitch it properly, which is why we are writing her book for her. Chapters 1 through 10 with a bonus chapter of 11. Title of the book is hilarious. It's called What They Don't Teach You at Sugar Daddy Academy. What they don't teach you at Sugar Daddy School of Being a Sugar Baby. We right in line with Dan Olson and chapter 4, which is networking, deal flow, monkey branching, and having a safety net while we as females are shopping for our next sugar daddy. At a South by networking event, no less, trying to get deal flow while just throwing haphazardly sales pitches out. What this set is meant to do is to be 100% truthful while being 80 to 90% hilarious, while also helping women who had one or two sugar arrangements thrive and shine via Hot Girl Venture Capital Club, which is a sequel to Hot Girl Sales Club, which is a sequel to Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. Because all of these things together, if you're temporarily confused, I'm going to make all your confusions go away, which is this. What if the sugar arrangements could have a structure that would self-improve the sugar daddy while self-improving us as the receiver of money and gifts for doing nothing, free apartment, while also adding value in concentric circles? Is this also HGVC, Hot Girl VC? Yes. Is this also a class at Stanford GSB? Yes, Strategic Management 353. Do people go to get an MBA to hope for an MRS degree? Most definitely. Do you see how Sugar Baby and Sugar Daddy at South by is now an innovation that we 5 get to participate on and then potentially profit? Why? Because chapter 5, hashtag CHAPT5, FIVE, is this. Before the money transfers from the sugar daddy to the sugar baby, advice needs to transfer. And that advice does not need to fall on deaf ears. It needs to fall on the ears of a person who is flexible and willing to change and adapt because someone is paying for it. There's always somebody paying for it. But we don't want to pay to then have an adversarial relationship. We want to pay to have a mentee listen. Me, I'm a mentee that pays my mentor, which is why I don't have a daddy. That's a monetary daddy. I have a tail wagging the dog philosophy and practice. Set that aside also because I want to stay focused so that way you're not confused, which is number 7, chapter 7, which is time preference. Can you be present with seeing how rewards happen in the future? Can you stay present with a not worrying about the fact that your rent-free arrangement is now on a timeline and a deadline? Can you be time preferenced where you can delay gratification, because the whole sugar arrangement shows that you have a hard time with one, graduating a 4-year school that some people could graduate in 3 years. You are 10 years away from a 4-year degree. That's why you decided to sugar in the first place. Because how hard is it to use a free subscription to Grok 3 in order to make $800 a day? Turns out, not that hard. That's a true story. We can study, buddy, a video called How to Be 11 Chefs in the Kitchen of Our Mind. When we sugar, our time preference is one that we want immediate gratification. We have the problem of attention deficit disorder. We behave like VCs, and that's the sugar insight, is your brain's not so smart. Your phone's definitely not so smart, but it's really just breaking your brain. Chapter 9. So, Sugar Daddy is definitely doing something entrepreneurial. They don't have time to research the Michelin star restaurants to go to. They don't have time to research the coolest vacations to go on. They also don't have time to research some of the innovations that are happening inside of entrepreneurship. What do you talk about with a 24-year-old girl? What do you talk about? This is what you talk about. You talk about Larry Chiang content inside of entrepreneurship, because guess what? Most guys need this stuff. So what are you doing? You're audiobooking my content at a restaurant that you're getting fed at while winning at the Chapter 9 hustle of how to be a better sugar baby inside of Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. The person with money, the sugar daddy, is constantly learning. They don't want to hear about gossip on your friend and who they're banging. Don't need to hear it, don't care. The conversation point of what do you talk about when the age delta is 15 years or 25 years? This answers it. This is what you talk about, is Chapter 9. Are you willing to pay $2,000 in order to make $500,000? Yeah. That's why this book is hilarious on 10 levels, because you don't pay $5,000 until you make $400,000. Screw me if you want. Either way, I'm entertained. Because Chapter 9 is being able to talk about entrepreneurship innovations, private equity innovations, and all the innovations. I can sum it up in one sentence, which is this. It doesn't take money to make money. It does not take money to make money. Time preference, reverting to 7 from Chapter 9. If you're able, as a potential sugar baby, to read 2 books a year on business, or watch 10 Larry Chiang videos a year, take notes, and then regurgitate those things, how much more likely are you to be landed into a sweet arrangement that I'm not selling you into, because I think those arrangements are stupid. You guys are not you guys, but her. She was the one who wanted to deal flow a sugar daddy. She wanted that. This is using AI to solve that. Ooh, right into dovetailing perfectly with point number 10, Chapter 10, while wrapping up also a previous point, and that is this. Being street smart in how we get deal flow. Being business street smart with being coachable. Because remember, before the money comes, there's going to be advice. And if we write down that advice, take that advice, and then get better, what's our likelihood of entering into a VC relationship? Higher. What's our likelihood of entering into a CEO, board of director, board of advisor relationship? Higher. What's the likelihood when we watch something get better and then report back to that person, hey, I watched a Dan Coe video. I watched a Dan Martell video. I watched a Dan Van Klemp video. I got better. This is how. Bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3. People don't do that. In fact, on day 34 of the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, that's April 5 and 6, JW Marriott, I financially benefit from you getting free content. That's how life works, which is this. Learning from Brandon Bouchard is incredibly street smart. And while you're learning and taking notes, that's being incredibly street smart with your sugar daddy, monkey branching, low time preference brain. Because you've never really taken 16 pages of notes per day on day 34 of the 23 days of OpenAI, day 35 of the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, day number 36, 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. When you fix your brain, now you're better than the 23-year-old, 22-year-old girl version of yourself as a current 29-year-old, because market values fall, not my egg count, not my fallopian tube egg counter countdown party. Did I learn these things on day number 8 of the 23 days of OpenAI when I went to SheMD podcast launch party? I did. So if you're on a dwindling egg count shot clock and now you're feeling pressure, this is a way to not necessarily alleviate the pressure, because the pressure is just there. What you can do is alleviate some monetary pressure. You can alleviate some time preference pressure. You can also alleviate some of your, I didn't quite graduate a 4-year school that I could have graduated from, but I got distracted, or 7 other excuses, where you can graduate from Bryn Bouchard's Academy. I only had to pay $95 because I committed early. How many times do you commit last minute? In fact, let's just say that $1,500 last minute is too expensive for you. Welcome to day number 35 of the hashtag 22 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. The 23 went to 22 because in 2026, it's hashtag 22 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. What we're doing in the bonus chapter for chapter 11, which ties in the earlier point, which is altogether. We are going from failed sugar daddy arrangement to failed sugar daddy arrangement with great enthusiasm, because I'm not going to sugar you, because day 15 was the reverse sugar daddy party. Boom! Winning! Who created that? The same guy that created reverse VC. What is reverse sugar daddy? Reverse sugar daddy is true female empowerment. I learned it from the Vagina Whisperer. This is true female empowerment. Remember when we got advice? Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, your mother scratching welcome. And for HGVC, I better be getting some flown and more flights. Osaka would be nice. Oh wait, that's already paid for. What we're winning at here is true empowerment, because remember, before we received advice from an alpha male who we sugared or didn't sugar, doesn't matter. We got better and gained financial reward from listening to that advice. This is reverse sugar daddy, which is hacking gratitude and abundance and all that manifesting BS now made real because I took notes on your feminine, no accountability, no structure shiitake into the truest form of female empowerment, gratitude and serendipity engineered. Please grab a pen. When you receive free advice that is good, we, me and you, me, I'm Larry Chiang, 650-283-8008, true story. We are going to take that free advice and we're going to win. After we win, we're going to engineer our own serendipity by engineering karma, by writing our own horoscopes. This is how. And writing and printing money. This is how. Nose is itchy, gonna be kissed down there by a hottie. I think that's how the saying goes. You get a piece of advice. You're going to write it down. You're going to timestamp it. Oh, chapter 7. And then we're going to be somewhat entrepreneurial with it. Oh, chapter 9. And then we're going to do an innovative business model. Oh, chapter 2. Altogether in chapter 11, together is this. We're in chapter 9, paying it back, paying it forward. We are going to study buddy the piece of advice that you got. You can do this as a guide too, but this is specifically tailored towards a 32-year-old, as young as 29-year-old person who's sugaring, who is now looking at the cliff, trying to sugar compete against a 22-year-old who is incredibly virile and chock full of egg. We are going to study buddy and improve. Then we're going to make at least $8,000 because this shit is so easy. It is so easy. Look at how quickly I came up with an entire book. This is like my 8th book that I've written during South by Southwest. This isn't trash talk. It's real talk and it's stand-up comedy. And we will manifest this right now. You get a piece of advice. We study buddy that piece of advice. The advice is always having to do in 2 categories. You're freaking welcome. One is cheat the calendar by reading ahead in the book. Number 2 is edit a piece of turd that is currently trashy or bad. Advice in business can only land in one of those 2 categories. What I did was I took those 2 categories and I broke them down into 63,030 subcategories which have an archive. That's why we can make as sugar babies inside of Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club and Hot Girl Venture Capital Club, that piece of advice turned into money. Once it's turned into money, we're going to douche tithe. What is a douche tithe? Christian people tithe 10%. It makes us feel abundant. It's engineering abundance because, hey, I'm tithing 10%. God cheer for me. God cheers for you. When you're this extra good, you tithe 20% back to the person who gave it to you. You're literally investing in yourselves, future selves, mentor. That's what they don't teach you at Y Combinator. Because now we can not be cliche sugar daddies. Let's go over some cliche examples. Leave the video when this shiitake hits too close to home. Our first sugar arrangement was when we were 23 to 25. We didn't know what was going on, and before he knew it, we were living in a free apartment. I'm living in a free apartment right now that I'm getting paid 60 grand a month for. Oh, was that an accident? sugaring and money making is different as a man from a woman because I can't have women pay for me. So now I gotta come up with some genius business model and read it so well that I have a PhD thesis sitting over at Harvard Business School. PhD thesis, not defended. PhD thesis, no degree conferred. That's okay. No hard feelings. Alexander Ostrander, business model generation. So, stop me if this sounds cliche. Back when you're 23, 24, all of a sudden you're living in a free apartment because this is the best arrangement ever. Fast forward 10 years, you're still hoping for the same thing, and you aren't what you were. Ditto the egg counter. Ditto some other female issues that I won't necessarily get into. Stop me if this sounds too cliche. It is this. Being stubborn with your deal flow. When you're being stubborn with outmoded thinking, when you're being stubbornly, I don't want to train my brain, because I've seen people with low time preference out on a pseudo date. I'm not going to say she can't stay off her phone, but I will say that there is not a conversation dynamic that empowers the man. It's more like a job interview. And the compliments to investigation ratio is typically out of whack because females, we as females, tend to be so stressed about money. That's what it is. Stop me if this sounds completely cliche, which is also this. Taking every morsel of a lead for sugar daddy and trying to cram it into the 10 years ago experience that happened to you. So you're taking something that you didn't quite understand what happened and trying to replicate and repeat it. Does this sound like venture capitalists giving lectures at Stanford Engineering? Oh yeah, they don't know how they got rich, and now they're trying to get other people to get slightly better. So it's not necessarily the blind leading the blind, it's yourself and a misawareness of where we are at as it relates to value, as it relates to how to move forward, even though we see that we can change. Let me refresh and start anew, which is this. The sugar model is ever changing, while we ourselves as women are also changing, because time moves forward only. Let's map out over 200 problems that are hilarious and profitable if we hilariously lean in, Sheryl Sandberg pun intended, to some of the monetary dynamics of sugar arrangement, because what is this video about? It's about understanding that business models are just ass models. It's understanding how networking and entrepreneurship and mentorship orchestrate together into a perfect epiphany. Dare I say, a fifth epiphany? Because if we just read 2 books, we can sugar any which way we want. Book 1. 2 Joe Dispenza books. So you could pick some chick books, which is Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Becoming Supernatural. Or you can pick my 2 books, which hack business perfectly, which is 4 Steps to the Epiphany, Steve Blank, and What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. Because remember, what are we trying to do? We're trying to be fossil whisperers. We're trying to be seasoned executive whisperers. Because how many sugar babies are just moderately hot and jobless? Everybody, non-employable, everybody. Maybe passable in a gala situation. Passable, meaning you kind of got to hide her as an arm piece and you can't let her talk. Solution: add value by being the seasoned executive whisperer. If you're dating 20 dudes who are 20 years older than you, you got to start seasoned executive whispering. Oh my gosh, that should be chapter 13. The seasoned executive whisperer as a sugar baby, sugar daughter. Gosh, I'm so tempted to write that down. I'm not going to write it down. You're going to write it down, which is the sugar daddy deal flow. When doing stand-up comedy at South by, most comedians do what? They lie and distort the truth, anything to gain a laugh. I don't need laughs in this video, which is why 100.0% of it is true. What I desire, not necessarily need, do you like that throwback to time preference? Is to have everybody get better while laughing and learning. Oh my God, is that also flow state? Yes. Is that also the interruption of the expected? Yes. Is that also number 1, the calendar, and number 2, editing? Yes, 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 yes. We have an opportunity to laugh at people trying to enter sugar arrangements while using Grok 3 artificial intelligence to write the book. What They Don't Teach You in Sugar Daddy School. That's the book. Is that a book that you want to read? I'll want to read it. And I'm the one coming up with the structure. Set aside the sugar stuff because I spent way too much time talking about it. If you were to write a book that's nonfiction business that would help you be better at business, Stephen High, what would we do together and what business book would you be writing? Oh my God. I asked the question, came up with it. What I learned in one Larry Chiang video. Boom! Because people can't quite figure out what in the world is going on. And people would pay you to have you tell them what is going on. In fact, back to Sugar Baby, all you need to do is sell Larry Chiang on your next sugar date. This is why. People are always looking for the next Alex Hormozy or the next Brendan Burchard. But guess what I am? I'm a version of Mark McCormack, and so all you're doing is selling a version of Mark McCormack to the fossil. Now you're the fossil whisperer because you're taking a book from 1983 that they should be mastering. Are chapters 1 through 11 completely commensurate with Mark McCormack's book? Yeah, that's how I write books so fast. Is I've already read your future bibliography. This video is meant to be a first time viewer or repeat viewer or sugar 22-year-old that's older than 22 and younger than 23, or a seasoned executive. It doesn't matter, because when you watch it from your point of view the first time, oh, cool, that was good. If you watch it a second time and say, how can this video make me $11,000? Because day 18, 23 days of OpenAI, connects to day 34, 23 days of OpenAI, connects to day number 0, connects to day number -2, and day number 3. It gets confusing without a pen, and so I'm going to just leave you with this. Day number 106 of the 23 days of OpenAI is Y Combinator Startup School's AI Startup School in San Francisco. Day number 106. May 16, May 17. What a great video. Good hanging out during sunrise videos. I hope you expand on a prior and see the stuff that you missed from earlier, because it was solid Bitcoin. Next video, and it's okay if you guys aren't subscribed, because these Easter eggs drop with or without your support of liking, subscribing, or sharing. And if you want to make $800, $400, or even $200 because you've actually never watched a YouTube video and then made money, I wonder if this could be video 1 for you. Oh, it is video 1 for you.